Okay, hi everyone. Okay, guys, so let's start with the today's session on the Palo Alto firewall. Uh, okay, so I guess you all guys have enrolled in the course, and also you guys attend the first demo class that we have done last week. You guys can unmute yourself and can talk. I don't have any problem in that.
Yes, Shank, that's correct. At least for me, yeah.
Okay, guys, so let me share my screen. Just a second. Okay, so let's start. Okay, as you know, guys, this is a firewall fire mastery 5-in-1 course in which what we are doing is we are doing the 5 courses at once. So let me show you the course details first. So we have Palo Alto, that is the first module that we are doing here, and we have then the Fortigate firewall module. Then we have Cisco ASA, Checkpoint. So all these are the four firewalls. And then we have a big F5 LTM load balancer module as well. So we will be covering 5 modules. So as a part of this course, we will be starting with the Palo Alto network firewall. So you guys can will get all the recording sessions, all the workbook that we created, all the notes, and 24/7 available lab access as well. Okay. So any question, any issue about that? Okay. So moving on, let's start with the today course. So let me open my. So now today, first of all, let me start with the course mode, like what we can cover today. Today class we will do it around 1.5 hour of class. So we will cover the basic of the Palo Alto firewall. We will cover the basic CLI commands. So agenda, first of all we will cover the CLI commands, then GUI dashboard in basic configuration we will do. Then management configuration we will do. Then your roles, users, then your types of configurations. Let me type it here. So these 4 5 topics we will do it today. So let's start with the first thing. So before starting, let me ask you guys, how can we access the Palo? Let me show you the topology as well. So we have a topology ready as well. So this is our lab topology in which we have two Palo Alto firewall. I already started the firewalls because it take time to start. Palo Alto 1, Palo Alto 2, and then we have the two switches. This is our inside network, and this is on the top of the firewall. You can see our outside network, and here on the right we can create our DMZ network. So this way it is set up, and it is a very basic and easy topology that you can guys practice and master on it. Okay, so before we will move on further, let me start with how you can access the firewall. Just a second, guys. Okay, so firewall access methods. So can anyone tell me, if anyone knows about the access, how can we access the firewall from the scratch? You guys can unmute yourself.
Hello, Chunk.
Yes.
Yeah, we can access firewall from web interface.
Mm-hmm.
This CLI
Mm-hmm.
or the SSH.
Okay.
When we have an IP assigned to the port management port, or if
Mm-hmm.
we assign a dedicated port to be management through, we can do this also.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. So there are two methods, like two things here. One is your access methods. Another one is your ports types. Okay, so let me first tell you like how you can access it. So one is your web interface. By web interface, you can do it. Okay, so that is GUI. Another one is your CLI, that is your command line interface. Third one is a panorama. Okay, so this is a centralized web-based management for multiple firewall access. So you can get a centralized management and you can control multiple firewalls through it. Multiple Palo Alto firewall. Okay. And then fourth option, what you have is your XML API. So this is programmatic interface in which you can do the REST API, and you can based on that interface access to firewall, and you can do configuration, operational, all those things you can do it. Okay, so for example, if we will do HTTPS, what is the IP, and then API. So through that as well, we can do it. Okay, and you can automate your tasks as well. So these are the four methods by which you can access the firewall. Okay, any issue in that? Okay, so moving on to the firewall, I have one pic that I have downloaded it. So these are the ports on a typical firewall model. This is, I guess, 3 2 double something firewall port model in which if I open it, okay, no problem. So let's start with the left. So from port number 1 to 12, these are the RJ44 45 ports. So these will connect to your network devices, other network devices. Okay. Then from port number 13 to 20, these are the SFP ports. So you can say 10 gig SFP, SFP plus, all these ports are there for fiber. And also you can connect to an X copper cable as well with these ports. Then port number 1 from 21 to 22, 23, 24. These are again, these are the Fortigate's QSFP ports. Okay, you can see the size of the module. It is a little bit larger than SFP. Then leave it HSCI for a bit. Then you have HA1A, HA1B. These are your ports that connect to your other firewall, which is in HA. Okay, so we will do our HA firewall as well in our lab as well. So if we can go to a topology, Palo Alto 1, 2, we will create HA in between them. Then you have your management port. This is your out of band management port by which you can do configuration for the management interface, and you can access the firewall through management interface. Then below that, this is a console port. So console port is basically when your firewall comes and you just plug it the RJ45 to DB9 and cable, or RJ45 to direct USB cable, and you can configure the initial management IP address and all those things. Okay, although Palo Alto firewall come with the IP address of 192.168.1.1/24. This is the management IP address that is already configured on the Palo Alto firewall, and they come it with these IP. Okay, so you can just plug in, if you are in the same network, you can plug in it and you can access it. Then you have a USB port. This is to copy the flash softwares and all to the flash of the Palo Alto firewall. Then there is also a smart USB for console as well. So this is a newer port that is coming. Okay, guys, and this is HSCI. This is also in some versions you can do it for a high availability. So that is also a port. So this is how it looks like. This is the fan tray on the above, and this is actual diagram that I took it from the Palo Alto site as well. So this is how it seen. Okay, guys. So now in our topology, we have two firewalls, Palo Alto 1, Palo Alto 2, and I already opened it in our super putty. Okay, let me exit out of it. I have not done any configuration on this. This is the pure like brand new firewall. Okay, without any configuration. So the basic username password, but in our last lab we changed the password because the first time we log in it, we change the password, right? Just a second. Okay. So now the username is admin, and I've changed the password to login at the rate 890. So as you can see, I'm able to log into the firewall. So this is the CLI of the firewall. Guys, any issue up to here? And one more thing I need to ask: is the font is visible and clear for you, or should I make it more large? So it is clear. Okay. Okay. So Abdul asked like, what is the initial password? So initial password is your when your firewall comes, its username is admin and its password is also admin. But as we log in for the like in last class we log in, so we changed the password to login at the rate 890. Okay, so you can change it. So but again, there is a policy in which you need to be 8 characters. One should be of greater than greater like alphabet and now numeric numbers, then one should be special character. So I just choose this password only. Okay, then we have another one as well. So we have two firewalls. Okay, so let's start with the very basic thing. So guys, I'm assuming you guys are new to the Palo Alto firewall. So let me take it in that way only. So before moving on, let me open my pad as well. Okay, so in Palo Alto firewall in CLI, we have two modes. One is your operational mode, and other one is your configurational mode. So what do you mean by operational and configuration mode? So in operational mode, you will see the sign greater than, and in configuration mode, this is the asterisk sign that we will see it. In operation mode, you can do only basic commands, very basic commands, mainly show commands, debug commands, these type of commands you can run. And in operation, in configurational mode, you can configure, or I can say set the firewall, and all of these IPs, zones, etc. Everything you can configure or set in that. Okay. So now, is if you see on my screen, we are in the operational mode. So this is indicating by this. So if you see it here, this greater than sign, we are in the operational mode. So if we go to the configure, we are now going in the configuration mode. To make it exit, we can do exit, or we can do quit. So these are the two things by which we can do the exit and quit as well. Okay, so this is the two modes only that Palo Alto CLI have. Now we will start with what is there in the uh, configuration mode. So what is there in the operational mode? So in I've done the question mark. So you can see we have very basic commands like clear command, debug, delete, find, then ping, grep, show commands like that. Okay, so let me do the show, and then we will do question mark. So you can see like clock, your config, whatever is the config right now, your DSCP, neighbor, operational mode, routing, system, user, VLAN, etc. So let's start dig some of the commands. So if I do show clock, you can see the clock which is set. So it is showing FAB 20 PST 2021. Then just a second, guys. Okay, so show clock, and apart from that, what we can see, we can do show system, and if I can see info, what is the information of my system. So as you can see, we have a host name PA01 that we configured in our last lab. We have IP, and we are getting the IP via DSCP directly. So I am running local DSCP on my VM, on which from interface, this interface I am getting on the management port, I am getting the DSCP IP. Okay. Then we have MAC address over firewall. This is the time. This is the uptime. This is the model number, serial unknown because right now we not installed the license on it. Then other things, global protect and all those things you can see. So if we dig more, show system, and then services, it will show what services are enabled. So right now HTTPS is enabled. So we can do HTTPS to get the GUI. We can do SSH. We can do ping to the firewall. And what are disabled? HTTP is disabled, SNMP is disabled, and telnet is disabled. So this is by default. These are the services that are enabled and disabled. What else we can see? Okay, let me see. Show user, and let me see, show admins. So we have two admins, like I have logged in through the console as well. I've logged into the web as well some time back. So it is showing the two login methods. Then if we try to ping, let's see, we can able to ping. So we able to ping our Google as well. So we have internet connectivity as well. Okay, so these are the very basic commands that I want to show you guys. So let's move on to the configuration mode. And yeah, one more command, show interface management. So we will see this is our management interface. This is the interface that we are here on the this management port. Okay. So on this port, okay. So this is the IP address that I'm getting on the management port, and this is my net mask, and this is my default gateway. This is the VM network adapter, and this is the IPv6 address that I am learning. Then these are the bytes receive transmit through my management interface. So this it will tell you basic things about your management interface. Okay. So if you see, go on the Palo-Alto 2, we will have a similar output, show interface management if you do. So this is again, we are learning via on 166 here. The DHCP IP I got is 167. Okay. So let us see that in GUI as well. Yeah, that either I will cover it later on. No problems. First, we will just want to see it on the management interface only. Okay. So now 192, 168, 247.161. This is my first Palo Alto firewall. That is PA01. It is already login. That's why it is not asked for the username password. So let me try to login it again. 192.168, 247. So now it will ask for the username password. Username admin, login at the rate 890. So I have logged in into the Palo Alto 01. Okay, so now as we seen in the last session as well, this is our dashboard. So I just quickly in 1 minute, yes, anyone saying anything? Okay, so I just quickly once again tell you about the dashboard. So this is our first dashboard layout. Like we have 7 tabs: dashboard, ACC, monitor, policies, objects, network device. So in dashboard we have this layout. We can set it 2 layouts, 2 column as well, 3 column as well. So if you can see data logs, I can put it here. I can do this here. I can add more widgets like, for example, top high risk application. Right now it is only blank as we are not having anything. So this way we can do the widgets. Then we have ACC tab in which we will see the activity and all network activity, threat activity, everything. So right now it is in the first stage, nothing you will see it here. Then we have monitor in which we will see all the real-time logs, threads, related to threads, related to URL filtering, wildfire, etc. And also we can do like session browser. This is the other way to see the logs. Then we can configure our policies. This is I'm going just fast because I already covered it. Okay. Yeah, the password header is same for GUI and CLI. It is admin by default. And after your first logging, you need to change it. It is compulsory to change it. Okay, so for the policies tab, we have a security in which we will create our zones, our netting, our QoS policies, we can put it and all other things. Then we have objects, so where we will put our addresses, address groups, regions, etc. Then we have a network in which we will configure our interfaces, our zones, our VLANs, all those things. So I will discuss everything in detail about all those things. Then we have a device tab in which we can set up our management options. We can see like host name, all those things. So let me change the host name to Palo Alto 01 new. So if I do that, I will click OK. So after doing the OK, it will not do anything. Okay. If you see it here, if you are getting still having the host name PA01. So if you want to change, you need to do the commit of your configuration. So after you do it, commit, then it will do your commit, and then it will do. Even if I close it, it will run in the background. So here from the task I can see. So now commit is 75%. I can stop if I want, or else it will be do 100%. So once it is 100%, you will see the see. So it is completed, and this is got pushed to our firewall, and we have a new host name. Okay, then we can set our operation things. This I also covered today. Then services interfaces. So in the device interfaces, if I go to the management, so see here, right now I am learning it from the DSCP client, and I am sending host name to the DSCP server, and this is the HTTPS and SSH. So I have shown you the services, right? Show system services. So we only enabled HTTPS and SSH and ping. So it will show you HTTPS, SSH, and ping. That is enabled. If I want to, for example, want to enable telnet as well, I can do it. Do the commit, and it will do the telnet as well for me. So all the management port related information configuration we can do out of here. So it is committed, and now if we see it here, so now if you see it, previously the telnet is disabled, now it is enabled. So over the management port, if we want to, instead of DSCP, if I want to do the static IP, I can do it from here as well. And let's do it. So 192.168.247.170, and my net mask 255.0. Let me see my default gateway IP config. So I'm using default gateways 241. 241 is the IP address of this one. So if I go it here, show face management. So my default gateway is 192.168.247.2. So 192.168.247.2, and leave IPv6. We don't need it as of now. As soon as do the commit, as soon as I do the commit, it will do the changes. Also, I got disconnected from this session as well, because now it is not reachable on this IP. It is reachable on the, so you will see the progress 99% only. You will not see 100, because now the session got timeout. So you need to connect it via new IP. So 192.168.247 dot what we gave 170. Let me take it inside. So admin login at the rate 890. So if you see now, I have connected on the new IP. If you see it here as well, show interface management. Now you can see it here. We have a new IP, netmask, and we have a default gateway. And also if I do show system info, you can see it now. My IP assignment is static. It is not DSCP anymore. Okay, guys. So this way we can do it, and also we can change it through CLI as well. So you guys want me to do that via CLI as well, to see the CLI command, or it is okay? Okay, no problem. Okay, you want to see it, or else what we will do is when we configure our all the, okay, let me do it today now itself. So for the CLI, we will go to the configuration mode, and in the configuration mode, I can type set, then device config. You will do the question mark, then you will do system, and then in the system you can see the type. So type, I know the full command, but for you guys, I need to doing the question mark so that you get from where I'm getting the things. Otherwise, just learning the command will not help. So from the type, it is static and DHCP IP allocation. So we will type, then do the question mark. Then you can set it again to the DHCP, or from the static also you can set the IP. So this is static. Then you need to put or else what we can. So this is where you can do the static and dynamic, or if you want to give, if you are in the static right now and you want to directly give the IP, you can give the IP address. So this is the command IP address. So system IP address, and then your IP address is be 192.168.247 dot, for example, if I give 171, and then my net mask, I can give my net mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, so this is, I have done it. Now I need to do the commit. Press enter. It is starting to do the commit job. When it is done, we will get a new IP. So 55% done, 75% done. Commit configuration committed successfully. So now if you see it here, I am no longer landing it on 170. Okay. So it will not refresh anything. So now our IP is 192.168.247.171. Oh, let me put the HTTPS. This is from the very basic, I'm telling you guys, and from the scratch we are doing it. Okay, so now we are learning it on the 171. Show interface management. Okay, so now see guys here. Right now I am in the configuration mode. So if I do show, I am not able to do the show. I can do the show commands, but after that it is not taking interface. It is only import. So now show interface management. This is the command I want to run in this mode, in the configuration mode. So in Cisco world, we will put do in front of it, but here do will not work. So here syntax is find, not find. Just a second. I used to work on a lot of devices, so sometimes even I forgot the things. So system run. So run, then show interface management. So run, by putting the run in front of your command, you can run the operational mode command in the configuration mode. Okay, guys. So now let's move on. We have a oh, why it's log out. So we have internet connectivity as well. Okay, so let's do some basic configurations. So any guys, any issue up to here? Okay. So the for the basic things, like for example, I want to configure the DNS NTP things. So device, we will go to device setup and services. Okay, and in the services, this is the like DNS setting we can give. So I can give directly Google DNS, and I will do OK. Then also I can do NTP. Okay, so NTP server, let me check. Okay, time.windows.com. So this is the NTP server. We can do time.windows.com. We can do the authentication, but here it is not needed. If we want to do symmetric key, auto key, all the type of authentication we can also do. We can put a secondary as well. So now I will do the commit of it. Okay, to show. It is not synced yet. I can connect to the local server as well. Right now it is using local clock only. Status is rejected. Reachable is yes. Okay, so let me check local. Okay, so we can take this server. In your organization, whatever is the server given by your administrator or by your organization, you can use it to configure or to sync it. Okay, so now configuration is sync. Still it is getting rejected. So maybe my one or the other firewall, maybe it is not allowing it to go to the NTP server. Anyways, not an issue here. But this way we can configure our NTP, our DNS things. Okay, so any issue up to here, guys? Any question you guys have? You can unmute it. Okay, so I'm assuming that everyone is clear for everyone. So let's move on to the next thing, that is what type of administrators we have. So right now I am the admin and I am the only one who can log in via the username admin, and my role is super user. So let me show you what type of roles we have here. So if you can see, we have super user and we have device administrator. So let me tell you the difference between these. So super user is, you can see, like it can do everything. It can create your new admins accounts. It can create your virtual. There is also a one role that is virtual account, virtual admin. So virtual admins it can create. It can create your device administrator. Everything it can do. Then super user read only. It can do the only read access, no write access. Then you have device administrator. So device administrator, it has the access of the setting, but it cannot create new accounts or virtual accounts. And then you have a read only for the device administrator. Apart from that, we can do role based access as well. So let me show you role based. So we have some roles, and these are the default roles, and we can create roles as well. Like if I don't want to see you traffic of logs, log of traffic of threat of URL, so I can just ignore these things. So I don't want you to get any logs. I don't want you to get see the monitor tab. So I can create one role, that is my I can write custom role, and CLI I can give access, that is not a problem. Okay, so this is the role I create in which I am removing the monitor tab. And then these are the basics like audit, admin, crypto, and security. And after that we created the custom role. Then in the admin, if I create one more user, like for example Shank. Okay, we don't need to give the authentication. And login is, again I will put my same password. You can use any password you want. So now we will go for role base, custom role, and I will do the commit. So 171 is my IP. Okay, I need to log out first. So it is opening the session for me. So see guys, now my monitor tab is completely gone. I don't have any access to it. Even if I want, I can put like only for one or two logs as well, but I've completely removed the monitor tab. So this way you can give a role-based access. So but for a particular admin like security admin, it can do only security things. Other network admin, it will do only network configuration. So like that way you can put it. Okay. So let me log out from the Shank. Okay, guys. So we are back with our admin account. So this way we can do it. Any question? Any issue? Okay. So guys, any question up to here? And I'm getting only a response from only one person, Haider. Then where are other people? Are you guys able to understand? We have a lot of people.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Okay. So Abdul wants to see the role based once again. So we will go to the device. We will go to the admin roles. We can create a role. Whatever access we want to deny, we can deny. Whatever we want to give, we can give. And then we will put a custom role. For example, network role. So for network role, I don't need monitor. Security, I don't need this. I don't need security profile. So I can just disabling the features that I don't need. Okay, and I'm just doing it randomly anyways. And then we will create this role. Now we will put that role in a user, or you can say administrator. So this is the admin account. If you want to create a user account, you can create user accounts as well. So we have local user database as well. So here you can create user accounts as well. Okay, guys. But roles you can configure it for the admin, and you can also go to via this LDAP, TechX, Cabros. So a lot of authentication methods. Every authentication method is supported. Radius, TechX, LDAP, Cabros, etc. So you can do it via that as well. Okay. So this is the role base and all. Then let's move on to the another topic. So in Palo Alto Firewall, what we have here is we have two type of configs. If I talk about the configuration, we have two types. One is candidate config and another one is running config. So what is the difference between candidate config and running config? So if you configure anything, for example, I have configure right now role. Okay, or let me do it new 123. I have changed the host name. So this is the configuration that I have done, but I have not clicked the commit button. So right now this configuration is called as a candidate configuration, yani our temporary configuration you can say, and running configuration is our permanent configuration you can do say. In Cisco world it is like, if you know the Cisco, in Cisco running configuration, this is in Cisco we have startup configuration, but don't confuse with that. So here the candidate configuration is whatever you are doing. This is your temporary configuration, and then you have running configuration, which is your permanent configuration. So to go from temporary to running to permanent, okay, running configuration, you need to do the commit. Okay. So when I do the commit, I am sending my changes. So these are the two things I have done. Preview changes, I can do the preview changes as well. Okay, it is right now showing me error. Okay, so if I do the commit, it is now sending my temporary configuration, that is the candidate configuration, to the permanent configuration. Okay, so now after doing the commit, we are going towards the permanent configuration. Now you guys have seen here on this is a tab in which we have save changes option as well. So what it will do, so now if you, for example, you are working on your device and you have done some changes, for example in the host name, and you want to save it. So now what it will do is it will save your configuration in the snapshot way in a XML file. So your save option, what it will do, it will create a XML file, saving your configuration in a XML file. Okay, and commit is basically to save and apply. your changes. Okay, so this is the difference between save and commit, you can say. Okay, so any question, anything up to here?
Yes. When we say about like if we have a multiple admin
Mm-hmm.
and working in a multiple locations and like they're working on a panorama, then what we have to do, like say by only admin or name, or is a how we would like commit all.
So there is one more concept related to there, that is your lock. Okay, so if multiple admins are working, so you can do the locking as well. So if you are doing commit, you created a lock. Okay, now any other user, if it is working simultaneously, if he is not the admin, okay, or not the super user, he cannot open it. Okay, he cannot do the configuration. Okay, like he can do the configuration, but he will not do the commit. Okay, so this is like a lock, also the lock we can set. Okay, then we have let me show you here, we can revert to our last save configuration if we want. Okay, so we can revert to the snapshot that we done it. So if we done anything wrong, we can revert to your last save configuration. This is your configuration which is before commit. You can revert to your last running configuration. This is what you have done commit. So you can do it, you can revert to both. Then you can save your configuration snapshot as well. Your candidate configuration, you can save it. Then you can load as well. Okay, so you need to connect to your local server, your key, you can set it, and from there you can load, you can export your configuration, you can import your configuration, so anything you can do. Then we have in this tab, we can reboot the device, we can shut down the device, anything we can do it from here as well, or
When
from
you
the
export,
CLI we can do
when
it.
you export, does it export the entire running config?
Sorry.
When you click export config, does it export all the configuration on the device, or it
Yes,
exports?
so in the export you can select whether you want to export your candidate config or you want to export your running config. So whatever you want to export, you can do it. Even if you have multiple, like this is the commits that I have done. Okay. So if you have multiple commits, you can commit, you can take export of any one of it, like version 7, version 8, whatever the configuration I have committed all, these you can export.
Can you export the entire running config on the PA?
Sorry?
Can you export all the running config, like just the current one, whatever is
Okay.
running to now?
Yeah. So now I have done it. I have clicked on it. So it will create a XML file and I can save it on my local system from where you are accessing your firewall. Okay, so there is a question: when another engineer try to do changes on same device, does this config also reflect in the config candidate config that you are about to commit? So if you don't have lock option use, so every person has its own config, can like you can say is candidate config, so it will not show in your session. Okay, Krishna. And then again, you can import from your local system. You can do it. You can import the configuration as well. Okay, then services, we done it. Okay, guys. So any question now? Okay, so move on to the next topic. What we have is the interfaces that we have. So these, if you can see it like here, this is a diagram of a different firewall model, so don't worry about that. So here you have seen 12 ports, but here this is the VM, so here you have 8 different ports. Okay, so now if it is a single chassis, firewall, and if you have ports, and suppose these are the gigabit, or you can say like Ethernet ports in case of virtual. Okay, so this way we have Ethernet. This is a single slot. Okay, this is a single chassis. So first number is your chassis number, then after slash is your port number. Okay, and if this is a multiple slot chassis, like if you have this as well, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this one is a slot 1, and this one is, for example, slot 2. So now if you see it, Ethernet 1 by 1, that means it is referred to this port. And if you see it Ethernet 2 by 1, that means you are referring to this port. So this is how the naming convention we have in Palo Alto. Okay, so now move on to the next topic that we have. Okay, so now this is our interface. So let's talk a little bit brief about the interface, and in the next class I will configure the whole set of interface configuration and all those things. So now suppose this is my first interface, ETH 1 by 1. So what are the options I have it? So the main thing here is this interface type. So let me tell you about the types of interfaces we have in Palo Alto. So you can see it here in the type. We have first type is TAP, second type is HA, third type is virtual wire, fourth type is layer 2, and fifth type is layer 3. So what we will do is, let me tell you about all these types first. So tap interface. Can anyone have any idea of the tap interface? Anyone wants to explain about that?
Uh, like a span port.
Yes. So it is used for your mirroring purposes. Okay. So for example, if you want to mirror a traffic from a particular interface, you can do it via this. So for example, if I let me show you here, if this is my Palo Alto and this is the interface, and there are 4 interface, okay, for example, and here I have, for example, a switch, and through that I have some server on which I am doing capture and analyzing of traffic. Okay, so this interface I can create a tap interface, and whatever the copy it will send, it can, the Palo Alto, that whatever the copy Palo Alto guy getting, it can send it via this interface to your server. So you can have a configuration, like you have a backup of all the things that are running on it. Okay, and then you can use it for later analytics. So this is the feature, this is the main motive of this interface. Now second interface is your so like in Cisco world, if you know span, RS span, those who are familiar, so that is for this interface. Now the second interface what you have is your HA interface. HA interface is for high availability. So if I see you here in the diagram, these interfaces. So these are the different from your data ports. Okay. So these are the HA1A, HA2A. So these are the interfaces which we use for HA. So suppose you have two Palo Alto firewalls and those are connected is HA1, HA2 on both. Okay, here and here, here and here. So that is used for high availability failover and all those things. Then you have a third type of interface, that is virtual wire. Virtual wire, what we use it virtual wire for, you can say it is a, like for example, you have a firewall and this is like for example, you have two switches or switch or router, anything you can have it. And now these are running with like on some particular link 192.168.10.0. Now your organization want to set a firewall between these two devices, but it will not allow you to it don't have the new IP addressing, or it don't want to get a new IP addressing. Okay, so you can set a firewall in the virtual wire mode. So it is like a bump in a wire, you can say. So your traffic will go via only, it can set only two interfaces, that's it. This is the property. So this interface and this interface.
It is called transparent.
Yes, so in Cisco world we can say it like transparent firewall. And here this is for Cisco world, and here in Palo Alto we set it virtual wire. So when we not able to change our IP addressing and all those stuff, we can use make use of it, and we can set the interfaces. Okay, so this is why how we use it for virtual wire. Then layer 2 is your firewall can act as a layer 2 switch as well. So you can have multiple layer interfaces as well in the firewall. Suppose layer, this is my firewall, so these are the two interfaces, one more here. So layer 2 capability, complete layer 2 capability as well as firewall. And layer 3 is the default mode, or you can set it like mostly used mode, in which you can set the IP addresses and complete your firewall as a layer 3 mode, so it can do the traffic and all those things.
Does these interfaces support STP, Shank?
So in layer 2 mode, I don't think like it will do the STP and all those stuff, because again STP is a different thing protocol. But for the layer 2 mode, it can do the VLAN and all those stuff. We can configure the VLANs and all. So if we go to the interface option for the interface Ethernet 1 by 1, you can set the mode from here, and every mode has its own configuration. Like if you set it in here, you will get only these options. If you configured in a HA, you get HA options. Virtual wire, you can set your virtual wire. Then you, if you go for layer 2, so VLAN you can set, and your zone I will cover in the next class. So zone and VLAN, these are the only things you can set, and your LLDP profile and all those stuff. The layer 3 options, so we have most of the options in layer 3. So here you can set your IP, your IPv6 IP address, advanced properties, ARP entries, profiles, etc., LLDP and DDNS, link speed, all those things you can do it in this mode. So these are the different modes. Once we click OK, it will set it to the layer 3 mode. I can do the commit of the changes, and it can change my interface status. So guys, any question up to here?
I got a question,
Yeah.
Shank. So
Hmm.
I with my experience, like I have seen like in Meraki firewalls, there was
Mhm.
a heartbeat link dedicated without having any production traffic on that high availability link. Is that
Mhm.
something same case here, or is it?
Yes, we are running the heartbeat on the high availability ports. That is what we are running,
Uh,
so that they keep in
okay.
sync.
Does that carries production traffic also?
No, that
Okay.
is only for your high availability traffic and for the heartbeat, and it will not carry your production traffic.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Thank you. Thanks.
yeah. Okay, guys. So any question? So we need to wrap it up here for today's session. And for the pricing, for those who are new for the pricing, they can contact Sagar, and these are the details of the WhatsApp and email IDs in the chat as well. And also, let me show you one massive topology that we have. So for guys who are enrolling in the complete course, we have a complete this massive topology in which we are running the Cisco ASA firewall. We are running Fortigate as well. We are running Palo-Alto. We are running Checkpoint. So we have two different sides with all the firewalls. We are running MPLS cloud for it, and we are having F5 load balancer as well, which will do load balances. So F5 module we have it. F5 with Checkpoint, F5 with ASA, F5 with Fortinet, F5 with Palo Alto. So this is the complete lab topology that you get if you enroll for the complete course. Or we have individual courses as well that you can go, but this is much cheaper option, and you need to you get learn all the firewall technologies that are existing. So these are the latest and the most used firewalls in the market right now. So any question related to lab topologies and lab access and all those things?
Sorry to ask, Shank. Will that also covers the VM series, or just to
So
understand?
we are running like if you can see, we are running the our firewall on the virtual environment only. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. So that is the only thing directly we can run it. And we have our own servers on which we are running. So you will get a lab access as well for 24 by 7. And all the lab materials, lab courses, lab notes, everything you will get it. Lecture PDFs. Okay. Class notes, you can get it, class videos, and you will get a dashboard in which everything you can get it on the website itself. Any other question, guys?
No, thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks a lot, then, guys, and have a great weekend. And let's meet tomorrow at the same time, in which we will do the lab of the configuration on our lab topology. So, this is our lab topology on which we will do the IP addressing. We will create zones tomorrow, and we will do the basic layer 3 and all that stuff. Okay, guys. So, thank you very much, and thanks for joining.
thanks, Shushan.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.